Good morning, everybody. I want to introduce myself real quick if you're not familiar with my work. My name is Ryan Wilden. I run the cryptocurrency service on Elliott Wave Trader, a site devoted to Elliott Wave analysis for many asset classes, including the market, Forex, and I run the cryptocurrency service. It's the Elliott Wave theory is a theory that suggests it was created by R.N. Elliott in the 1930s, and it suggests that markets move in waves of sentiment that have a mathematical structure in a basic pattern that's five forward and three back, so to speak. Lots of material, including even Wikipedia has a page on it if you're curious. And then I recommend, if you want to dive in more, read the book by Prechter and Frost, The Elliott Wave Principle. What I want to do this morning, and I maybe doing this fairly regularly, potentially even up to once a week. I want to, because I provide very up-to-date charts, even down to an hourly, on lots of cryptocurrencies. I wanted to provide a little bit of material to the public on the DEX trades that we've been looking at, and I may do this fairly regularly, as I suggested. And what I'm going to dive in today is for EOS DEX trades that I like and I'm following and taking myself. And just real quick about the method. One of the challenges with the DEX trades is that I don't get a log fib drag and drop tool because TradingView doesn't have that native. And if you know my work, we coded or I participated in the coding of log fibs for TradingView.com to kind of fix the problem, but though that code doesn't import into the TradingView library that's on the DEXs. So what I have to do is, and if you use linear fibs, it's extremely inaccurate work in terms of using Elliott Wave theory and fibs. So we've got to use log. And what I do is, I've actually got running a spreadsheet that calculates fibs and log. And so you can see I've got assets. So this is one on Neo, and I've got each of the key wave extensions based off the 1, 2. So I just input the 1 and the 2, and then I get all of the ideal extensions. And if I get an overextension on one of them, I've got a different means for doing that within the calculations in this box. So anyway, that's the basics of it. And so I'm using a hand calculation, which is extremely tedious. However, these trades are so fruitful in terms of the multiple of return that I wanted to do this. So without further, and finally, one of the difficulties with this is there's not a lot of liquidity on these DEXs yet. It's starting to increase, I've noticed, but there's differences in their slippage in each of the exchanges. I like DEX EOS a little bit better in terms of liquidity, at least behavior-wise. But I have all the charts in new DEX, and I double check the two to try to get the best thesis on where the slippage lies in the chart and try to kind of cancel it out. And I do that in cryptos and normal exchanges as well, and it's played out well for me. So that's what I'm doing here. Without further ado, the 4 that I am going to share with you is Black EOS, where we're going with that. And then the other is, let me look at them real quick. So Tribe is one that I'm interested in, and Karma is fascinating. Black, as I noticed, EOS deck, and then there's another one, and that is WeCash. So WeCash, EOS DAC or EOS DAC. I'm not sure exactly how it's pronounced. Karma, and then Tribe. So let's hit Karma real quick. So Karma is, my thesis is that we have a 1, 2 down here, and I was actually watching in a leading diagonal, but the character in this move right here is really not. It's more heart of a third, not much like you would find in the last wave of a diagonal. So there's a little bit of interpretation right now. If we have a diagonal, we'll top very soon, and so I don't want to see this trade at all below 0.003 at this point in time. Actually, we really don't want it below 0.003 EOS. To continue with this thesis that I have here, that we'll see a 5 up through to a 0.009. So right now we have a price of 0.04, and we're talking about potentially a double as it goes through these last sets of 3s and 4s. And if you look at, we have a little bit of a slippage bar here. It doesn't exist on on DEX EOS. And roughly around 0.04, we should see this 3 top, and we'll start to see the thrash of the wave 4s, but we still could get some very nice trades. So for example, if we top at 0.04, 0.004 is the probable bottom of 4, and we would see a trade up to 0.06. Not a huge trade, but about 50% between this 4 and that 5, and then we can do it again. If you're familiar with my work, I trade in tranches, so it'd be probably 30% off soon, 30% that back on in whatever profit I took off, and then take off another 30%. Actually, 50% would be probably a cleaner approach here at 0.06, and then so on and so forth. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just using right now what I airdrop, plus I'm active on Tribe, and so I've got a little bit more tokens that I've been buying, and so really not a heavy position for me. I'm really starting to get my feet wet in these DEXs at this point in time, so I'm mostly using what I was airdropped after the EOS mainnet was started. So looking good so far. Next one is Karma, and Karma I'm going to assume right now, I've looked at this different ways, and I'm going to assume that we have an ABC forming, and that puts a lower target right now at 0.001. But even with that, that's a crazy 10x move potentially to the bottom of our A, and we call this the A equals C zone, where C is symmetrical to A in log, and it doesn't look symmetrical because that's the northwest. What's key about log fibs is when you get an extension in log upward, you see sort of visual extension, and so it should hit that 0.01, and it may go as high as 0.05, which is a huge trade, right? So we'll have to see, and once I get a 1-2 for that C, then I'll be projecting and refining this pattern, and hopefully if I'm on next week, I'll be able to share that with you. We'll see how this develops. Next one is EOS DAC or EOS DAC. I'm not sure. I need to learn how to pronounce these things, but I'm going to assume it's an A equals C, which really isn't getting us very far, 0.06. However, if we do push over 0.01, then we are likely more in a 5-wave move. And the difficulty between the two here is that the mess when this exchange started really doesn't give us an indication that we have 5 up for blue 1. So it's basically red count versus blue count, or blue pill versus red pill, if you like. And we'll watch to see what happens in both the projection here and the projection here. Now it's funny, when I looked at some of this action in here, and there's a little pullback in here, and I projected straight through. When I calculate that, it pushes straight through 0.012. The problem is I just don't know if any of this is slippage in here, and it may be absolutely false, and so we may halt this move, and maybe that there's a little 1-2 and down in here, and we'll halt this move at the C. So we'll have to see how that goes. Again, 0.012 is critical. If it pushes through there, then we may go on to 0.02. WeCash is one that's looking really good, and I really have a hard time based on where it's going now. I didn't mark this one, but right about 0.0011, we should have one of the third. And so I'm going to be watching that level to see if this continues to have confluence, as we say, between this 1-2 and the larger count. I mean, it's possible that we're seeing a C wave in here, so it just goes ABC, and then, but and the warning is actually that it extends past 1 without getting a nice deep correction. Using the Elliott wave theory. So if we can get a pullback at 0.001, we have nice confluence in a larger wave 5, and that could go all the way up to 0.0017 from quadruple zero at 8.5 at the current price. So we have a potential big trade in WeCash, and I don't even know anything about this company or DApp, but certainly it's projecting a big move. So we'll have to see. I don't corroborate a lot of my work with fundamentals. That drives some people nuts, but I watch price action purely. So here we go. Let's see if this one really pans out, and it could be interesting. If we get this 5 up, then we would naturally believe that we would get a corrective 3-wave move of most of this move up. And so if we see that, then we have an even larger trade in the next degree using Elliott wave theory. So we'll see how that goes. And so that's it, guys. Again, so we've covered black. Oh, I didn't cover black. I'm sorry. And black is coming in is an ABC pattern based on what we've seen, and then right now we're expecting it to hold a 2, no more south than 0.016, although 0.02 is ideal. And then we'll be looking for a move up to 0.05. And this is an ABC pretty clearly to me, unless we extend past 0.05, and then I'll be looking at it as a 5-wave move. But it could just be slippage that's making this look like 3 waves, but I'm assuming it's an A wave since it's 3-wave structure. All right. Thanks for watching. And if any questions, you can go ahead and comment in the social media feeds that I place this on, like YouTube, Tribe, and Steam. And happy to answer any questions best I can. Talk to you later.